Welcome to our next YouTube video in the Elkhart County History Series. So today we are talking all about the United States because the 4th of July is coming up, and usually in our videos we talk about something specific to Elkhart County. Today we're going to talk about the nation, in fact the founding of the nation. And what we decided to do today is to read a children's book. So all you kids, if you want to kind of gather around and get comfortable, today what we're going to be reading is the book John, Paul, George, and Ben by author Lane Smith. The good thing is, if you like this book, there are plenty of libraries in Elkhart County that carry this. I checked right before we started filming. All the Elkhart public libraries have it, and the Goshen Public Library has it as well. So if you like this book and you want to read it and take a closer look at it and explore it on your own, you can. So it's an exciting, fun book that helps us learn about the early parts of the beginning of the United States. So let's kind of dive into it and explore John, Paul, George, and Ben. So here's the front cover. So the inside cover, as you can see, we have the title again, and then our author, Lane Smith. Once there were 4 lads, John, Paul, George, and Ben. Make that 5 lads. There was also independent Tom, always off doing his own thing. John was a bold lad. At the start of every school year, the students were asked to write their names on the chalkboard. And every year it was the same story. John, his teacher had said, "You have lovely penmanship, John. Your confidence is refreshing. But John, come on. We don't need to read it from space." Paul was a noisy lad. Before fun was invented, people joined bell ringing clubs. As a member of Boston's Old North Church, Paul spent hours practicing in the belfry tower. Over time, that bell ringing took a toll on young Paul. All day his head was filled with bings and bongs. He had to practically scream just to hear himself talk. Now that's good around the belfry, but not good at work. Extra large underwear? Sure, we have some. Let's see. Large, large, extra large. Here they are. Great big extra large underwear. Paul was like a bullhorn in a china shop. Your wig, yes, it's coming. And your polka dot shirts are coming. And the pink breeches are coming. It took many years and a midnight ride for people to finally appreciate his special talent. The red coats are coming. Everyone except that big underwear lady. She was still mad. George was an honest lad. One day, he took his shiny new hatchet and chopped down his family's cherry tree. When his father discovered the tree, he asked, "Son, do you know who killed this beautiful little cherry tree?" "I cannot tell a lie," answered George. "'Twas I who chopped down this cherry tree." "Then run to my arms, dearest boy," cried his father, "for you have paid me for it 1,000-fold with your honesty." "Really?" said George. "In that case, when I tell you I've taken out the apple orchard, leveled the barn, and made kindling out of your carriage, you'll be a wealthy, wealthy man." Ben was a clever lad. Not only did he have a saying for every situation, he generously shared them with anyone, anywhere, at any time. Fish and visitors stink after 3 days. He considered it his duty to provide frequent free advice. The sleeping fox catches no poultry. Those who in quarrels interpose must often wipe a bloody nose. If your head is wax, don't walk in the sun. 3 can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. The townsfolk were so taken by his generosity, they came up with a saying especially for Ben. Please shut your big yap. I like it, said Ben. Short and to the point. Work a fox or a turkey in there, and I think you've got something. Tom was an independent lad. One day, his teacher, Mr. Douglas, asked the class to make birdhouses by gluing macaroni to ye old balsa wood. Tom happily ignored him and used traditional building materials in a neoclassical design. When the class made a palm tree, Tom took one look at it and said, "Not on your life," and then quickly left to sketch his own tree. Young Thomas, fumed teacher Douglas, would you mind explaining to the class why you insist on working so independently? Certainly, said Tom. In fact, I have taken the liberty to list the very reasons. Fear not, sir. I have used the small words for the benefit of the dullards. Tom learned the power of his words that day. Mr. Douglas told him to pursue all the life, liberty, and happiness he wanted. Independently in the corner. The other students pursued lunch. The rest is history. Say you want a revolution? Well, John, Paul, George, Ben, and Tom sure did. In April of 1775, they got one. The Redcoats were coming. In fact, King George III's army was marching to Lexington and Concord to arrest John and the other Sons of Liberty. Fortunately, Paul Revere was a noisy man. There's Paul Revere. After his midnight ride, every Minuteman, woman, and child knew who was coming and what they'd be wearing. It was the start of the Revolutionary War. The Americans needed to formally state their separation from the king. Who better than Thomas Jefferson, an independent man, to write the Declaration of Independence? Simply signing such a document was treasonous and dangerous. Ben Franklin was a clever man and said it best. We must all hang together, he quipped, or assuredly we shall all hang separately. One might think twice about signing his name. Not John Hancock. A bold man, he was the first to scribble his autograph. And man, just look at the size of that John Hancock. The war was won thanks to General Washington. Everyone thought he would make a great king for the new United States of America. But George Washington was an honest man. The last King George, he said, President George, however, it has a nice ring to it. Ye old epilogue. George didn't live in the White House like all the other presidents. He was asked to live in New York City, where there aren't so many trees. So, the last couple pages of this book have some true or false things, where you can explore the things that are true from this book and things that are false. So it's a good way to kind of see where the history is interspersed and intertwined with the story, which is a great story. So you can check that out. And that ends our book from John, Paul, George, and Ben. So if you want to explore more, feel free to check this book out. You can maybe buy it online or check it out at the library and see for yourself and learn for yourself and explore who these men were and why they were important to the United States and our history. So happy 4th of July, everyone. We hope you have a safe and healthy holiday, and we'll see you next time on our next video. Bye, everyone.